the team, that we'll save that for another day. Because we dominated the first 15 minutes of the game on both ends of the floor. Thought our guys were really locked into our plan defensively, and we're able to take some of that defense and turn it into offense and get out in transition. So, we did what we had to do, and raced out to that big lead, and obviously our foul trouble and short bench, we weren't able to probably sustain it as long as I would have liked. But it's a big game for our entire state, and we won handily. So there's a lot to be happy about.
Questions first from student athletes.
Marcus, what did you see in Nebraska fall spring covers that you felt like you could get into that intermediate area of the floor and make either plays for yourself or your teammates?
Just that first day we're blocking, which means if I'm trying to go right, like the person that's guarding me is going to try and push me left, and the big man's right there, kind of like a right angle. So, I just being aggressive off the ball screen. Christian and our other bigs just set really good screens, got me open, and then just made me just able to play off of it. Find the open shooter or find the flip up. So we just play basketball out of it.
Marcus, what does this game mean to beat the rival in the state?
It's a huge deal. Not only for the team but for the whole fan base. For everybody that supports Creighton. Obviously, last year didn't go the way we wanted it to. We didn't. But this year, we bounced back and, won the game handily. Although we wanted to win it a little bit more handily, but it didn't happen. But I'm still happy for my guys.
Marcus, how much of last year was on your mind when you were thinking about getting ready for this game?
Yeah, I still remember the feeling I had last year. Not only after the game, but going into the game, I was obviously just freshman. Playing in a crazy environment, and I just wanted to use that experience to really, motivate. Just not only me but the whole team. We obviously still felt that game last year, and this game is very important for us, and I'm happy we came out with the win.
Yeah, touched on kind of similar question. Did you guys talk about what happened last year? What's going to do that?
Yeah, because it really hurt a lot, especially all the messages and all the things that people were saying down in Nebraska last year. And we just took it personal. Obviously, we wish we could have beat them more, but we did what we had to do, and it was a great win for us.
What was key in your mind to start? Why were you guys able to get off to a good start like that?
Basically, it's just to get a quick lead and making sure they know that we're here and we will always be here. And it was just our mindset would just always attack, knock down threes, and defend. And that's what was key during the first half when we got off to that very good lead.
Touch on, or I guess for both guys, in your opinion, when you were going through that first 15 minutes and you felt like things were going your way, how much of the energy of the building and obviously the feelings about last year fed into all of that?
It just felt good. We just had tons of energy. We basically would just build in for each other, and we were just always here for each other. And especially what happened last year, we didn't want that to happen this year. And we wanted to set a tone and to make sure, basically, we just on this stage. We just got to keep it going.
Anything else from student athletes?
Marcus, what does this win mean for the rest of the month? How much momentum does this give you?
It's always good to win. It stinks. It's just important for us to win and keep winning. Going into conference play, But we're enjoying this. Enjoy this win, and then look forward to our next game on Friday, and then just keep it rolling.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good job, Todd.
Questions for Coach?
What do you see out of Marcus and the way he's been able to develop just his ability to be dangerous at kind of all three levels on the offensive end of the floor? What has allowed him to be so dangerous when he gets off that ball screen and gets into the paint or gets to the rim?
I think part of it is he just feels better. The off-season hip surgery, I think that certainly weighed on him last year, and I think he probably played and practiced in pain really the entire season. And I think he feels like he's got a little more bounce in his step. And when you're a shooter, to be able to get your legs under you, and he played last year with a broken hand, he had everything going on. But he's really emerged and taken the next step as a leader as well, which has been encouraging to see. But those three guys, Mitch, Marcus, and Ty, have really learned to play off each other. They're all willing to make that extra pass, and when you're an elite shooter like those three are, if you've got guys that are unselfish as that, there's a good chance something good's going to happen.
Greg, this game's obviously a big one, and there's a lot of emotion. But in this building, your team has often, over the last decade or so, gotten off to good starts, really good starts against Nebraska. Why do you think your team's been so engaged at times at home against this team in such a big atmosphere?
I just think obviously the crowd is awesome and into it, and we had enough guys that played in the game last year, and it was really strange in a lot of ways because there's not a lot of returning players from Nebraska, and Fred and his staff are new. So from that standpoint, it's not like you're trying to get revenge on some players because none of those guys played in the game. So it's just our guys understand how important it is to our fans, just like it is to the Nebraska fan base. This game is really important. So, I'm blessed that I've got some guys that, even though we don't have a lot of them right now, and we had some foul trouble today that we had to manage and put some lineups out there we've never had out there, my guys have been around and they've been in my system and they understand what we want to do. And Fred's going through the early stages of trying to get his system in place, and it takes time. And because we were more experienced, I think obviously that helped us to start the game.
And given what you said, given what you said, Mac, about just how it's a new squad Nebraska has, a couple times you guys up there mentioned that they wish they'd beaten worse. What's your take on that?
I think what they're saying is, like, we didn't sustain the way we were playing, and that's where they're disappointed. Not that we wanted the final score to be 40 points. It's just like we played a certain way for 15 to 17 minutes, and we never really found that again. Now, some of Nebraska's adjustments certainly had something to do with that. Our foul trouble and Christian Bishop not being able to be on the floor and Calvin Jones not being available certainly had something to do with that. But I think that's exactly what they meant. Like, we wanted to sustain the way we were playing, and we just weren't able to do that.
Because of your depth, were you trying, I guess, to don't let them drive early? It seemed like they got to the basket a lot more in the second half.
I thought some of our defensive principles broke down the second half in terms of where our help was coming from, and those guys they're hard to keep out of the paint. Their free throw rate has been great all year. They're averaging 24, 25 free throws a game. I really thought we could cut that in half, and we weren't able to. They get in the seams. They're quick. They're explosive, and they have enough guys that can shoot it that you have to respect it and pull away from the basket, especially when they went away from playing their two bigs and really played a small lineup. But we haven't played Damian Jefferson maybe 10, 12 possessions at the 5 all year. Like, so he doesn't really know any of the plays. So we're just out there running motion because he's never really been in that position.
Greg, you had over 18,000 here today. You take the lead in the series. What's the state of this rivalry right now?
I think it's healthy. I think there's been some really good games, and there's been games where we've won handily. And last year, obviously, we got beat bad. And Fred will do a terrific job at Creighton. He is one heck of a basketball coach, and anytime you bring together a bunch of new guys and you don't have upperclassmen helping you teach, it's very, very difficult. And one of the hardest things to accomplish is consistency. And they're a better team now than the team I watched play in early November, those first few games, and they'll be a better team in another month and in another 2 months from now. It's just going to take some time for Fred to get instituted what he wants on both ends of the floor. But it's a healthy relationship because obviously I'm great friends with Fred, great friends with Doc. There's a lot of good people down there.
3 more for Coach.
You mentioned your defense kind of leading the offense a little bit, but what else stuck out about the way you started offensively? Some shots went in, obviously, but I wonder what you thought led to the early surge.
Well, fortunately we made some shots early, so I think that got Nebraska stretched out a little bit more, and now all of a sudden we're getting to the lane and Marcus is shooting uncontested layups. And, we hope that if we can hit some three-point shots, that's what it does to you in transition. You forget about the basket, and now you're getting downhill and you can shoot layups. And like us, Nebraska doesn't possess a great presence at the rim. So when you get to the rim, you have a good opportunity to score just like they did to us.
Anything else?
Oh, and Tillman, how?
We thought there was a game time chance, but when we tried, he just couldn't warm up. So, this break is coming at a good time. Hopefully, with 6 days before our next game, that we can get him back on the floor.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Nebraska will win your equipment.
Certainly an opinion to have. He is the most clueless. Certainly an opinion to have. While he's coaching Old Miss
Coach Wilbur, for rehearsals, for questions? Okay.
Fred, that start, what do you attribute that to, the way that Creighton was able to kind of dominate the game right off the bat?
Well, the biggest thing was we were not getting back in transition, and we were taking the ball out of the net, and we weren't locating their shooters, and obviously they gained a lot of confidence with that. It was the number one thing we talked about going into this game was finding a way to get back and slowing them down. It's the most talented offensive team by a long shot that we had played to this point, and you have to do the little things to get back and at least try to slow them down and make them execute in the half court. We didn't do that, and then on the other end, I thought early on we were very undisciplined on the offensive end. We were playing east-west, and then second half we finally got that thing into the paint, played north-south, and we got to the basket, we got to the free throw line, we finished much better, and we're capable of doing that. But when you go out and dig yourself that type of hole, it's hard. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You're expending a lot of energy trying to climb back. But again, we've got a lot to fix this week, especially in the defensive end. And offensively, I'm confident we will be able to score the basketball. It showed with the second half with the shooting percentage, shooting 61%, scoring 54 points. But when you go out and you give them the type of looks that we did, and a team that thrives in transition from the three-point line, we're not giving ourselves a chance.
Was there a reason for not starting Cam in the beginning?
Yeah, he was 1 minute late to the bus today, and we've got a rule. I talked about being the most important rules, being on time. That was the reason.
You took a timeout after a defensive possession in the first half after taking a timeout in the possession previous. Can you explain what you saw that?
I wanted to take 8 more in the next 8 possessions, but I didn't have them. You only get 5.
Did you feel like your guys were, I guess, maybe not overwhelmed by the moment, but surprised by what they saw?
I don't know. Give Creighton credit. They obviously came out through the first punch and the second, third, and fourth punches as well, and we just didn't handle it well. And again, we've talked a lot about with this group. We got to find a way to battle through the tough times, and we've got players that we got to find a way to learn from it and be better the next time we step on the floor, and that starts with practice on Monday. We're gonna have to have a great week, heading into another tough environment on Friday in Indiana. We got a heck of a stretch that we're going through right now, and we got to find a way to compete better. We got to come out of the locker room better. For the most part, I think we have gotten off to pretty decent starts. The last 2 being the exceptions, and we're true road tests. And we got another one on Friday, and we have to handle it better.
Thor, you obviously were on the court. What was the biggest
Like he said, they're a really good transition team in the first half. They threw the first punch and we weren't getting back. And when they built such a big lead, in the second half we were digging ourselves out of a hole. And I think it got to the point that we didn't start playing more and more together until we were in that hole. And we got to get better at that. We have to come prepared right out the gate and throw the punch for first punch ourselves. And I think that's why we played better in the second half.
Were you guys able to take something out of playing better in the second half? The way you guys maybe stayed together and tried to fight back a little bit?
I mean, yeah, for sure. We have to build on that, and we obviously see what we can do. We scored 50+ points in the second half, but as I said, it's maybe a little different when you're already in the hole. But we got to get another game on Friday, so we have to be ready from the jump.
Fred, with Zagorowski, when he gets around that ball screen and gets downhill a little bit into the teeth of your defense, where you can make a decision at 3 different levels, how tough is he?
He's tough. He's a heck of a player, and we obviously knew coming in he was a heck of a player. Scoring almost 19 points a game, and doing it from all 3 levels. He can hit the 3. He's a very good finisher around the rim, and he can hit the mid-range pull-up shot. We went to a switching defense at the smaller lineup, and it got us going a little bit. But again, with things like this, when they happen to you, you have to find ways to improve on the things that aren't sharp, that aren't good, and you have to find a way to build on the things that we did do well. And Thor said it. We did have some positive things happen in the second half. But if you don't play a complete 40 minutes against a team like this, it's going to be a tough night. But I got off the question. He's a hell of a player.
Fred, why is there so much emphasis on being on time for things? I mean, what's the message there?
Well, I think that kind of speaks for itself. The importance of being on time.
One more on calling 2 timeouts. Have you done that before?
Yeah,
and
I have.
Is the point to just make sure that I don't know, what were you emphasizing on those?
Well, we didn't get back. I mean, we emphasized getting back, and then you don't get back in the very next possession. So, we called another timeout. Had it gone from 4 to 6, I may not have called it, but I think it went from about 28 to 30 at that point. So I decided to call it. But, again, the whole thing with, being on time, it's important. You have to do it. It's when everybody else is there ready to go, you go. So it's an important part of everything that we're trying to build, is doing everything the right way, and being on time is a big part of that. So, again, it's over in my mind, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Within this stretch of 4 really tough opponents before you jump back into a few other non-conference games, what can you take to these next 2 games that you've learned from your team, especially in the second half today?
Well, again, you got to try and with a group like we have, with so many new faces, you have to find a way to build on the things that you do well. And again, we'll get in there for a good long film session and show things that we need to improve on, and also show some positive clips on what we did well. But again, when we had the aggressive mentality, and early on we had some shots again right at the rim that we didn't finish. But I thought our aggressiveness and taking the ball to the basket and going through guys was so much better, so much more thrust in the second half than we had early in the game. And again, it's all about coming out with the right mentality. For the most part, we have gotten off to pretty decent starts, but especially when you're on the road, you got to find a way to do it.
Why did you decide to go smaller?
One, they with the backup center out, we had an opportunity to go out there. We just switched every ball screen, and I thought it helped us. We had been playing mostly with with our bigs, with Ivan and with Kevin, but wanted to try to get Mate free a little bit, and he did. He opened up a few shots, and then Thor got it going as well. And so let me say this about Thor: he's a guy that really brings stability. He's always in the right spot. He's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence right now. It's been fun to see, because Thor's always in doing the right thing, and going out there and playing the right way. And it's good to see a lot of positive things happening right now for Thor.
Fred, this is your first rivalry game between Nebraska and Creighton. Just what'd you think of the atmosphere and just the whole atmosphere itself?
It sucked. No, listen, this is a great arena. It's got a great fan base. It's I played in this building in a preseason game. Billy Kennedy called 3 fouls on me in the first half. It was really bad. I had about 30 family members here, but it's a great arena with a great fan base. Give a lot of credit to Coach Mack. He's doing a hell of a job here, and getting those guys playing with a lot of confidence, and I'm happy for him. Greg's a good man. He's a good friend, and I wish those guys nothing but the best.
Anything else for coaching for?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Anybody need a call?